Welcome to 13 Minutes of News. In 13 minutes or less. Sorry I wasn't there last week, guys. I know I was at the gig conference in St. Louis, and the Sunday Funday, all the other videos made. It was the first week that a 13 minutes didn't drop, but we're back on track. Won't happen again. So bear with me. This 13 minutes is sponsored by Moves, Solo, and GaryZapps.com. So tomorrow morning before Sunday Funday, I'm going to start off with a little bit about talk about Solo and a little bit talk about Moves. And then we're going to have Sergio on, Gary and I, and we're going to discuss a couple things that went down in the rideshare world, especially Uber, who now is going to show destinations and not care about your acceptance rate anymore. To me, that's those are signs to moving to full, complete transparency, which is needed to get us out of the rut, kind of. I mean, if you show me every ride up front, where it's going, where I'm picking them up, where I'm taking them, how much I'm making, if you're going to show me, if you're not going to care my acceptance rating or hold it against me even in any way, like a pause or there a timeout of if you don't take 5 out of 10, then you got to wait and go back, and you don't get to see the full transparency until you do another 5 of 10. So they've always had tricks, but if they're going to really move to this model, we might have a little bit different of a game here to talk about. So that would be awesome, right? So we're going to have Sergio on Sunday Funday tomorrow. In the beginning, we know it always goes where it goes, but we're going to start off at least with that. So, and then I'm going to start off alone talking about some Moves Solo that I think at 12 p.m. Eastern, and then at 1 p.m. Eastern, Gary and Sergio are going to join, and we'll see where it goes from there. But for today, okay, so all of the gig companies, Uber, let me make sure I got these. Uber, Lyft, all of the giants, I should say. And I'm just going to talk about a couple, but Uber, Lyft, I don't want to batch anything in here wrong, and DoorDash and a couple others, but let's just stick with those main ones. They all reported almost twice the earnings that they prior had this quarter. Almost twice the earnings. Uber did post over twice at $8.1 billion. But all of them increased their losses. So even when they double the amount of business, double the amount of sales, double the amount of income coming in, they're still challenged to make a profit here. I mean, this is really coming down to, a lot of savvy is going to have to come into play here, because it's not just going to work itself out. These companies have been around Uber's been around for 12 years, and they still can't make a profit. I mean, they're worldwide. People know who they are. They're traded. They are creeping the way back up into I think it was 18 and change that I saw the other day on their stock. So, but I mean, they fell below 20 a while ago and have been tanking. I know that the whole market has been tanking, but let's jump ahead a story to Instacart, because I want to talk about this. So in March of 2021, Instacart looked at going public. Their valuation brought in, or said it was $39 billion. In May of 2022, this year, Instacart said that their valuation of $39 billion was now recalculated, and it was $24 billion. So I think they saw what the market was doing with these other ones that had IPO and said, listen, we don't want to launch and then just bomb out of the gate. We got to be somewhat the reality of what we're worth. But Bloomberg put out a piece where they broke it down and said that at most, Instacart was worth $14.7 billion. So $39 billion is what Instacart said. Then they said, wait a minute, a year later, we're only worth $24 billion. Okay. Then take off another $10 billion, and there you got Bloomberg's number of what they call reality. So I know we're still learning about these tech companies as they onboard an IPO, but come on, guys. Anyway, yeah, we're going to move past that. We're going to jump in. By the way, all this news comes from UberLiftDrivers.com. You guys right here, UberLiftDrivers.com. And make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, please. Like and subscribe to this video. But yeah, UberLiftDrivers.com is where I get all of my news, and it's not just rideshare at all. In fact, I cover everything on this. There's posts daily. Some of them contain multiple posts inside of them, so check it out. You can even search the database. It goes back almost about 5.5 years now, and there is just tons and tons and tons of information and knowledge to be found here about the gig economy. So get on there, check it out. So look out Uber and Airbnb, because Tesla's autonomous robo-taxi service is coming for you. Yeah. Oh, I just started the audio. But they are coming for you. And yeah, it's the stories at UberLiftDrivers.com. I'm not going to get into the whole thing, you guys, because it's a crazy story. But you got to really jump into it. But if you want to learn a little bit about Tesla, again, the link's on UberLiftDrivers.com. It's in the link from today's post, August 6th, called "Look Out Uber and Airbnb, Make Room for Tesla." Check that out. I won't jump in too much, but obviously Tesla's making a play in the game here. Alphabet, Waymo are looking at things. So, hey, competition is good. It will get these companies motivated to make a profit, and to obviously, some of them will cutthroat each other on how they pay people or drivers, and some of them might go the other way. So we're going to see some, trial and error type stuff, but if everybody hasn't seen, I know that there was some talk this week about Harry's piece with Dara from the CEO of Uber. And you guys, this was Harry's third interview with Dara. And I got to say that, again, he gets chewed for it every time, because people expect, hey, here's the questions. Like, I get this. We all have the same questions. We all want the same answers. We want transparency, better pay, this, that, the other. So it's like everybody always asks Harry, why didn't you ask these? Why didn't you ask these? You guys got to realize that he's not completely in control of that conversation. I know that he tries to expand it each time, though. So I mean, he's got a foothold there, but that conversation's never going to bring you those kind of direct answers, because when you're working with CEOs on that level, there's you can't talk about this, you can't talk about this, you can't take this in this direction. You get a little bit of layout before you come in, or even that they might, that high up, ask for direct questions. So go watch it, if you've seen the other two, and go watch it. But don't have, I was watching on comments on different socials this week how people were expecting different results. And, I can't wait to see this because he's going to ask him this, and that. That's what gets said every time. And every time it's not like Harry doesn't know these questions. He does. I know Harry, and he knows these questions. And if he could get them through, he would. So it's just tough. It's if you ask it, it could make it so that obviously these CEOs know how to back out of any question, but they might, he might, like, if you threw him a curveball again, like, too hard, then they're going to have to go around it, and then they'll never do an interview with him again. So at least we have one person who can, from time to time, get Dara on his podcast, and maybe eventually that leads to something, to a hint of something or something. We'll have to see. But I don't see any other creators. None of us can get Dara onto our podcast and whatnot. So let's hope for the best. Let's hope that something comes out of it. We would all like to see these better questions. I know Harry would like to ask these better questions. But tomorrow, Sunday Funday, we're gonna have Sergio on, and Sergio and I kind of touched on it last night on the radio show. But we both agreed that there needs to be a harder ball question at Dara, and we do need to get these tough questions out there. So how do we do it? So maybe on tomorrow's Sunday Funday, we can learn how to do that. Sergio, if you don't know him, is the main contributor for the Rideshare Guy on the written side, just like Chris, Real Rideshare Stories, helps Harry run the Rideshare Guy channel. And those two do the Show Me the Money Club on Wednesdays. So join us tomorrow morning. Gary and I are going to talk with him, or tomorrow So that was noon or 1 p.m. Eastern is when they will be on. Noon Eastern is when I will start. I'll do a little talk about moves and solo. So anyway, that's about it. The last story I want to touch on here today, and then is that so the gig workers groups were slamming the Worker Power Coalition, which is all the organizations that pushed for AB5 and didn't want Prop 22 and or they didn't want Prop 22, but they really wanted the AB5 push. They pushed all these people out of business, all these independent contractors that shouldn't have been. And now there's the Worker Flexibility and Choice Act, which is the polar opposite of the PRO Act. So we've talked about the PRO Act some, right? But the Worker Flexibility and Choice Act is the polar opposite. Like you take something from the PRO Act, do a 180 on it, and that's in the Worker and Flexibility Act. It's what us independent contractors want and need is something like this. Now, do I think this will go through? No. I am going to be having Kim Cavanaugh next month. And if you know about Kim, she's a dynamo. She's been on here before. She's a genius. And she knows this stuff better than anybody. So we're going to be breaking down everything gig related. I've had Mike Karubi on lately and some other people, through the past. But Kim is always the leader of the pack. So we will get her way in, and we're really going to talk about this. That way we're going to talk about it before this November when everything's going to come up. So it'll be an hour episode, and I suggest that any of you who are independent contractors join us. But yeah, that's happening. There's a whole piece in there that I think that one was in 2 days ago on the Uber Lyft drivers .com website. 2 days ago was the article about this, so check it out. It's from The Hill, and it's important stuff, guys. So we should all know what's going on. And with that said, I'm just getting back in the swing of things. This week's been crazy, and got my Gig Economy podcast t-shirt on. Thank you, Jason Thierry. And yeah, check them out every other Wednesday. So not this coming Wednesday, but they'll be on again on August 17th, Wednesday. All right, guys. That's 13 minutes of news in 13 minutes or under. Peace.